UFC Fight Night Paris Moicano versus Saint-Denis is this weekend. We've got your full fight card coming up, and it's a long one. We got 14 fights on the docket. Don't go anywhere. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the 10-7 MMA. I'm ya boy, DS, and I'm here with my guy, Dino Bam. You switched my shit up, so are you this way? Yep. Boom.
Yeah, it's the same way. This is how it always fucking begins, Dino. What are you talking about?
True. What's good with you, dog? Playa?
Hey, same old. I know you got the Diddy oil next to you. You ready to go? You've been wild during the pre-recording segment of this episode, so it might be unhinged.
Oil up. Hey, whoever gets a worse record on this card has to oil up live next week.
I'm down for that, you know?
I'm not. Give me like 6 months. I'll oil up for the free, my boy.
Hey, you get us to 1,000 subs, guys? Do like the thing at the bottom says, DS
bro,
oil
they're
up.
They're not gonna do none of that shit, bro.
Yeah, but you'll oil up for the boys, right?
I'll oil up, fellas. Let me know. Let me know. W's in the chat. All right. We are here today to go over the return of the UFC after the Sphere card. We have, of course, 14 fights on the docket. It's a themed card. Do we love those? No, we don't love those. But it is actually a pretty good card, in my opinion. What do you think, Dino?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of solid fights on here. There's no, like, fucking amazing, holy shit kind of fights, but 14 fights, there's probably, like, 10 really solid fucking fights. If I was in Perez, like our little background over here,
yeah,
I'd fucking go to this card. And
let's talk about that. What's up with that? We're straight up floating on the water. I was gonna say put us in a little gondola, but I'm a fucking uneducated fuck. That's Italy, isn't it? That's Venice.
Probably. It's one of those Vegas hotels. I know that.
That's for sure. All right. Anyway, before we get into these 14 fights, and of course, this is UFC Paris. The main event is Moicano versus Saint-Denis. That is, I would argue, both of those are my boys. Benoit Saint-Denis, certainly. I'm happy he's back. I'm excited to see what he's got to do. But before we get into the card, do you have anything that you would like to say, my friend?
Yeah, I'm just going to reiterate the fucking like and subscribe thing, guys. Holy shit, it's not that fucking difficult. Click the subscribe button. Ring the fucking bell. It's going to notify you when our videos drop. That thing that we teased last week, that video series that has taken us forever, that's dropping really damn soon. DS over there on this fucking side is he came to my house, DS. We put in some work the other day. You had the hiccups. It was intense. We did a lot of fucking work. We're doing some more work either tomorrow or Friday, and we're planning on dropping this video series pre-UFC 307, which is only 93 cards away from UFC 400.
True. All right. Let's dive right into it, brother. You got nothing else, right?
No, let's get into these fucking 14 fights.
Let's get into it. First fight of the night. We've got Balaji Oki. He's taking on Chris Duncan. This is at 155. Give me your thoughts on this one.
DS, are we doing this thing or are we not doing this thing?
You know, let's skip it. I like the scenery when it's both of us in it and Putty.
Okay, so we'll go this way, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Balaji Oki, guys. Let's start with him. Balaji Oki is an aggressive striker who loves to pressure his opponents. Weird thing, he's not from France. I believe he is from Belgium.
Yeah.
He has a forward-moving style, good volume, solid defensive footwork. His ability to stay in the pocket, Dino, and throw his combos, I like that a lot. He's very evasive when he gets in that pocket. That's a, really interesting thing to watch, and he's super damn dangerous for anyone in the division. Then we have Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan, as we know, a super fucking hard hitter with some real power. He likes to fight in bursts, and he also, I don't know if he likes it, but he tends to get fucking cracked from time to time. We've seen his chin be a little sus, right? Like, we've seen him dropped. We've seen him really hurt, but most of the time he comes back and finds a way back into the fight. So that says something about his heart. His stamina is a little concerning to me if this fight goes a little deep. Long story short, I'm not going to spend too much time. We do have 14 fights coming up on this, but Duncan's power makes him super damn dangerous early. But if Balaji Oki is able to withstand that first 5 minutes, maybe that first 6-7 minutes going into that second round, I think he's going to win it. So I will go Balaji Oki, not only testing Chris Duncan's chin, but eventually breaking it in round 2 via TKO.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it either way. I could really see this fight going either way. I'm not going to be betting this one. Balazioki is a decent striker, probably the more technical striker. Both these guys got pretty good power. Chris Duncan, like you said, man, we have seen him be a little bit chinny. He's not as technically sound, but I do think that he has that toughness factor that we've definitely seen out of him, which I do respect. Balazioki, probably the physically stronger guy, but man, these are two big guys with big power. Balazioki is going to be the more athletic guy in there. I think that's his biggest advantage in this fight. Chris Duncan, I think it's just his overall toughness, man. But I don't know. So, something in me is telling me to pick Chris Duncan. I don't know what it is. Like he's actually, he's let me down when I've picked him certain times for props and things like that. But I'm going to start it off with an underdog pick, man. I think he gets the TKO finish in the 3rd round in this one.
All right, I like it, man. I don't hate Chris Duncan as an underdog in this one. I don't know if my breakdown did it justice, but I do think it's a pretty close fight. The odds are a little too big for my liking, but for the pick, Balazioki, I don't mind sprinkling on Chris Duncan, no Diddy with the oil, talking about sprinkling on people. Or was that R. Kelly? That was R. Kelly sprinkling. But either way, sprinkle on Chris Duncan a little bit. I'm going to do that for sure because I'm a fucking degen.
How to sprinkle that thing?
There we go.
That's terrible. All right. Next fight on the card, we've got Nora Cornhole. She's taking on Jacqueline Cavalcanti. 2 European ladies going at it here with both only 1 loss on their record each. I guess I'll go first. This is actually a rematch. So these ladies have actually fought early on in their pro careers, or earlier in their pro careers, I should say. They fought in 2021 at FFA Challenge. Cavalcanti had a pretty comfortable decision victory in that one. Was kind of whooping on Cornhole, to be honest with you. I also believe that Cavalcanti, if I'm not mistaken, is considerably younger. Yeah, 7 years younger. So, this is a rematch. It's a fighter that was only, a child pretty much the first time they fought, essentially. I mean, not really, but you know what I'm saying here. The younger fighter, I expect her to have improved more in the last few years. Cavalcanti also literally just fought. She just fought Josiane Nunes. I actually picked Nunes, I believe, in that one, but Cavalcanti did end up getting that decision victory. So props to her for staying active. I mean, it does make sense. She's from Portugal, and obviously this card is in Europe, so good on her jumping on an opportunity. Nora Cornhole was supposed to be fighting Germaine de Randamie, which is obviously, that's an actual name in the division. So, props to her, too, for sticking in this fight and still taking it because, you still get a dangerous opponent without the name recognition. It's not doing as much for her. All this being said, man, the fact that it's short notice for Cavalcanti and Nora is the one that was training for a high-level opponent gives me a little bit of pause here. But I'm still going to lean ever so slightly with the younger fighter winning, the one who's already won their first match despite being the younger fighter and less experienced at that time. I'm going to say by decision. I don't really see a finish here either way. I do expect it to be a close fight, though, man. I really do.
Yeah, I'm with you, DS. I'm also going Cavalcanti. When it comes to rematches, my little saying, I'm always going with the person who won the last fight. Same thing with trilogies, right? I tend to go with the person who won the last time they faced. Now, I know it's been a long time since they fought. It's been a couple of years. Both fighters have changed. Both have gotten better. But yeah, I'm going to stick with you here as far as I'm going by decision. Obviously, I don't see a finish in this one. I will say, though, I am not comfortable betting this one at all. Women's MMA.
I won't be betting it either.
Yeah, at this level and 2 women that have fought each other in the past, I'm passing on it. Ton of fights on this card. If you got that little itch, to bet.
Actually, you know what? Depending on what the odds are when the props come out for the over 2.5, I might take that.
There it is. So you started itching. I feel you. You started itching. But I'm just saying, if that
I was just saying I wouldn't take the money line on either.
Yeah, if the itch strikes, there's a lot of fights. Don't do it. But if you want to side with DS, he's been hitting a lot of these bets lately. Side with DS. I'm not touching it. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm going Cavalcanti decision as well. I could totally fucking see Nora winning it.
Boom. Next fight, we've got Daniel Barez. He's taking on Victor Altamirano. This fight is taking place in the flyweight men's division. What do you think about this one?
All right, let's start with Daniel Barez. Barez is a versatile fighter. He's got he's a striker, right? Let's start there. He is a striker. He mixes his punches and his kicks very damn well. He uses his range pretty damn well as well. He likes to keep his opponents at bay. He's pretty good with the takedown defense. I know that that's not supposed to be his forte, but he has shown some good sub skills. He's shown some good takedown defense skills. So take that for what it's worth. Victor Altamirano, a dynamic fighter. He's comfortable on the feet and in the Jesus Christ, I am all over the place. I'm trying to read these notes. I'm tired. It's fucking 10 o'clock. I had to work all day. But anyways, Victor Altamirano, he mixes it up well. He's good on the feet. He's good on the ground. Altamirano, he hasn't gotten his ass beat yet in the UFC, right? He hasn't won all of his fights. He's lost a couple, but he's shown that he's tough as hell, man. Like, there's no putting this kid away. I like the fact that he has that dog in him. He's got that dog. And like a couple days ago, he was a +1 something. And now it's pretty much a pick 'em, but he swung to the favorite. So I'm going to side with the bettors, the smart money coming in on Victor Altamirano. I think he's eventually just going to get Barez really tired. He might start working in some of that grappling and then edge out a close decision. Again, I said edge, but no Diddy.
That's right. Yeah, man. What is there to say, right? Smart. No, but seriously, Daniel Barez, he's dangerous, right? I think he's got some good power on the feet for the weight class. Victor Altamirano, man, he's a tough-ass Mexican with a tough-ass jaw. Like you said, he did not ever get his ass beat in the UFC. He's in every fight. Daniel Barez, to me, is almost like a little Timu mini John Silva. Do you feel me on that or no?
Yeah. Just like a big, hard-headed, like fucking nut job.
Yeah, and he's got a fun-ass style, man. I like watching him fight. Victor Altamirano, I've never been a big fan, to be honest with you. I like right? Yeah, never been a big fan of his style. Never been a big fan of him in general. No disrespect. Daniel Barez, a much funner fighter, big power for the division, nice left hook. I think for his best chance, he should definitely mix it up to the body. I think that would behoove him. I think there's a chance that he gets a knockout here, man. My thing is his cardio, right? Like I'm a little bit concerned about the cardio. So, the fact that Victor Altamirano is so tough to finish, and then I have cardio questions for Daniel Barez, and we really haven't seen Victor Altamirano knocked out, ever. It's been years since he's lost by knockout. I'm gonna go with Victor Altamirano here, man, but I'm not confident, and honestly, I do want to see Daniel Barez win it.
And two more things of note here. Daniel Barez been out of the octagon for over a year now. So got to factor in potential ring rust. Then another thing, it goes back to what you were saying about the cardio. It's tough to know, right? Because even though we haven't seen him in a year. And then before that, we haven't seen him in a second round in over like 3-4 years. So yeah. I just think that Altamirano ultimately stays, he stays safe. He's shown us that he's tough. I know he's going to survive that first round. Then when we get into those questionable second and third rounds, I just feel like there's more proof of Victor Altamirano. And I think that's why the odds have swayed the way that they have.
Yep. Remind me, who did you pick again?
Altamirano decision.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. So we're in agreement there. All right, cool, man. Moving on. Next fight of the night. We've got Ailin Perez taking on the Russian Darya Zheleznyakova. This is, we have a small influx of blonde, never mind. I'm not going to say it. Not trying to be sexist in any way or get demonetized. Smart, we're monetized.
As you're chilling there with the Diddy bottle, I feel.
As I'm telling people to oil up and shit. Yes, precisely. Yeah, man. Ailin Perez, look, she has an OnlyFans, right? We know that. She shakes her ass and shit. She was trying to fuck Paulo Costa. All that shit. It's surprising though. Like she actually is not bad as a UFC fighter. Usually the OnlyFans girls are like, they're just the UFC is like, or MMA in general is like just kind of promotion. Like, where can I find a million new guys to look at me? And what better place to do it than in an MMA ring, right? Or an MMA octagon. So, props to her, I guess, for just continuing to improve. Though she's a really good wrestler. She does a great job keeping her opponents down, even when she's oftentimes not the bigger fighter. She's oftentimes lacking in size. Look at her fight versus Jocelyn Edwards. I thought that was pretty impressive. Darya Zheleznyakova, she's a good striker, man. I like her kicks. I like her punches. She's not bad on the ground either, from what I've seen. Obviously, there's not a ton of tape on her at this point. But, yeah, Darya beat Montserrat Rendon, in the decision. But Montserrat Rendon, to me, is literally like bottom three, like actual bottom three in the UFC in terms of skill set. So that doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. Not really, the matchmaking is kind of weird to me. Ailin Perez seemed to be on her way up, and this kind of feels like a step down to me. But she's going to have the better wrestling. She's going to have the better grappling here. Her striking's improved. So, yeah, to me, this is, overall a step down. I expect her to win. I think it's going to be by decision. I don't really see a finish here, but I'm taking Ailin Perez.
All right, so I'm actually going to go the other way, Dino. Unfortunately, I don't think we see a twerk off after this fight. I think Zheleznyakova is going to use her range really well. Stay safe. It's striker versus grappler, right? The analyst in me wants to say the grappler is going to win it, especially when it's not a striker, the level of Anderson Silva or whatever. But she does a good job with range management, man. She's got some decent pop on her shots. And I think Ailin Perez eventually is going to get really frustrated and start running into some big shots. And I think Darya is going to end up just winning a decision. I expect her to win it. I expect her to win it pretty soundly, to be honest with you. I'm actually going to throw some bread on this fight. I don't like betting low-level women's MMA, but I will. Also, did you happen to see the video of Ailin Perez twerking on my boy Merab Dvalishvili after he won the title?
No, I did not see that.
Some good shit.
Link me at some point.
I got you.
You think he was bricked up?
He took his shirt off and did the Petey Pablo and started spanking. It was crazy.
Ooh, let's fucking go, dude.
Let's go.
I will say she's got absolutely no lips for a Latina woman with a fat ass.
Yeah, I'm not gonna delve into that, but you do you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. That's it for that fight. Moving on. Next fight on the card, we've got Taylor Lapilus. He's taking on Vince Morales at 135. What do you think about this one, buddy?
All right, let's start with Taylor Lapilus. First and foremost, Dino, as a host of this show, okay?
Mm-hmm.
From one Dino to the other here.
Oh,
look,
God.
We're bald, right? We're bald guys.
I mean, yeah.
You're right.
Sadly.
Taylor, my guy. You know what I'm saying? It's time.
Let it go, brother.
I'm saying it's time to let it go. It's, people were making fun of Usman for having the weirdest, shittiest fucking hairline.
Bro, let it go and just oil up.
I'm trying to say, because people give Usman shit, Taylor Lapilus' hairline is fucked up, bro. Yep. And this is coming from a baldy. I wish I had that hairline.
Should we make a tier list? Worst hairlines?
I'm down. You feel
me? We are experts on the subject matter, if nothing else.
And it's not racist, because it's like,
we're part of that race.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Anyways, Taylor Lapilus. You know what race I'm not a part of, Dino? Being a very high-level technical striker. That's not me. I'm more of a brawler, if you were to ask me. But anyways, Taylor Lapilus, a technical striker, moves well, good distance management. He's also a really damn patient fighter. Dino, I know we're going to get into this a bunch this card with these French guys. They fight a certain way. Taylor Lapilus fights that way. He's got that fucking, what's it called? Like that in 2K when you build a guy and he has like a fucking predisposed. Finesse. What is it?
Are you talking about like finesse?
No, he's got like a predisposed tendency to fight away. It's like his archetype, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's got that French archetype. That's what it is. He likes to counter. He likes to be patient. He likes to be kind of boring. Okay, takedown defense, I guess. And that's what allows him to be rangy and boring. Vince Morales, he's super damn gritty. He's got some really good power. He throws hard as shit. He tends to push the pace early, and he just goes for it right off the rip. He has some decent wrestling. We'll see if that factors in. I don't assume that it will. I'm assuming Taylor Lapilus is going to avoid the power shots early, stay on the outside like he does, use his footwork like he does, pick and pop at range like he tends to do, and win a unanimous decision in his home country. I don't see this fight really going any other way. I'd be happy for Morales to get a knockout because I don't like these themed cards, and I don't like the UFC pushing that shit on us. So I always find myself rooting against the people from that country or from that region. And maybe that's me being an asshole, but I'm rooting on their demise. I'm praying on the downfall.
You're just a straight hater.
Yeah.
You said if UFC theme cards, if there's only 2 people left, then you still have 1 hater.
That's it.
I agree with you 100% though, man. And I was literally just thinking that as you were talking too, because like to me, this is another, not a gimme matchup, right? But minus 350. Vince Morales is susceptible to leg kicks. Taylor Lapilus has nice leg kicks, right? Taylor Lapilus very clean technically on the feet. He's got good takedown defense. He's a southpaw. He's the hometown boy. He should win this fight, right? So it's like, okay, well, now we're not going to see Taylor Lapilus for another year until the next French card, right? And then it's like, okay, so then at that point, does he get another little gimme fight? You know what I mean? So at what point are you challenging yourself if you're one of these guys, right? Taylor Lapilus, he has a record of 20-4, right? He's looked pretty good in the UFC so far. He's got the loss to Farid Basharat, right? But he beat Cody Stamen. Callan Loughran was whatever, right? That was his debut fight. But he's shown some flashes. So it's like, let's see it, bro. What are you guys fucking doing, man? Just get to it, Like you're over 30 years old. Like just get to it.
He beat Nate Maness on like the regional scene and shit.
I mean, whatever. That's fine.
Man, still,
Yeah, and listen, Vince Morales is not like a schlub. He's got a good pressure style. I just don't see him being able to withstand Taylor Lapilus for the whole time. I'm gonna take him by decision. I could see a finish too, but Vince Morales is pretty tough, so I'm gonna go decision instead. Yeah. But yeah, what the fuck, man? Get to it.
Get to it.
All right, next fight on the card is Ludovit Klein versus Roosevelt Roberts, and this is me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another kind of weird matchmaking to me, man. Like, it's like the last 3, like at least the last 2 fights for sure. Same kind of theme for me, where it's like, this felt like a fighter who should be like. I thought Ludovit Klein was going to face somebody ranked next, to be honest with you, or damn near, right? Somebody like just outside the rankings, and then for sure fight somebody ranked next. If he won that, of course. Now, Roosevelt Roberts, he's not bad, man. He has a loss to Austin Hubbard not long ago, right? And Ludovit Klein is beating higher level guys and finishing them. And he's got good power. And his grappling is not bad. He's actually got decent takedown defense, too. He's the more aggressive fighter. He has a win over Ignacio Bahamondes, right? To me, it's just a mismatch. Roosevelt Roberts, was in the UFC, did all right. He's a long, rangy guy, but he doesn't have any power, right? Like, I don't think there's anything coming back Ludovit Klein's way where it's, he's going to gain a lot of respect for Roosevelt Roberts on the feet. And then after that, it's just kind of a mismatch to me, man. So I'm going to go Klein by 2nd round knockout here. All credit to Roosevelt Roberts. Oh, and I just want to say, I know that this fight is like slightly short notice. I think it's like 3-4 weeks notice, something like that. So props to, Roberts for taking it. And I get that's probably why Klein is fighting him. I still think they could have probably found somebody a little bit higher level, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm with you totally, man. I'm also going Ludovit Klein, 2nd round knockout. Just throw in a couple things. Number one, on this themed card, why do you have to have a Slovakian guy versus an American guy in France? I don't get it. Maybe I guess it's close, closer. Obviously, it is closer to Ludovit Klein than coming out to Vegas or something, but still just weird. Super weird matchmaking. Like you said, Ludovit Klein beating up on guys that are better than Roosevelt Roberts. He beat the guy that clipped Roosevelt Roberts and, put him in a highlight reel forever. He's beating guys that have been ranked, guys that have been near the top of the rankings. Roosevelt Roberts, just like a middling dude. I really don't get the matchmaking. And this is no hate on Roosevelt Roberts. I do like him as a fighter, but Ludovit Klein as a striker is just significantly better, literally levels ahead of him. So yeah, I'll go Ludovit Klein KO round 2. This card didn't need 14 fights. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, they could have skipped this and given Klein. I guess probably because it's in Europe, so for Klein it is a little bit easier.
Right.
He probably was like, yeah, fuck it, I want to fight on this card. And then who was he supposed to fight? Hold on.
Nicholas Mata.
Which even that, like, I mean, I expect him to knock him the fuck out too, to be honest. But I guess that's a bit of a better fight.
Yeah, a little bit, man. That's what I'm saying. It's just very, very odd matchmaking. Like Roosevelt Roberts, what the fuck did he do to deserve this? Yeah. MMA math don't be meth, and we always say that. but Ludovit Klein beat the shit out of Ignacio Bahamondes. Ignacio Bahamondes absolutely highlight reeled Roosevelt Roberts like an all-timer.
Yeah, and for Roosevelt Roberts, it's like, why would you want to take this fight? Like, why do you want to fly to France to get your ass kicked, and then now you're on a 3-fight losing streak,
and you're getting cut again?
You're getting cut. If not, I don't know what his contract is, but if not now, the next fight for sure. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but it doesn't make sense for either guy, really. But I guess, whatever. We'll see what's up. You got anything else on that? You good?
No. Let's move on.
Cool. Moving on. Next fight, we've got Oumar. Is it Sai or C? Sai.
C.
Yeah. C. Oumar C. He's taking on Jung, but I guess it's Jung now?
Yeah.
Since fucking when, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. That really tripped me out, too.
I literally was like, this guy looks just like Jung. And then it was like, Jung. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is him. Anyway, random, weird. Yeah. But what do you think about this one?
All right. This, Dino, is the gimme of all gimmies. This is the French guy beating the shit out of a foreign guy on the card. This is that, okay? This is the one. Oumar C, 10-0. He's got a look to him. He's got a style to him. He's a good striker. Moves very fucking well for the division. He does still have some of that French, like methodical kind of slow approach where he likes to stay at range and chip. But
he's definitely a better wrestler than any of those guys.
Yeah, 100%. He definitely has the grappling. We saw that in his last fight, which I believe was his UFC debut. Is that correct?
Yeah, Tokotokos.
Against Tokotokos, who was like talking while he was getting choked the fuck out. It was super weird. He was talking to Brendan Allen the whole fight. It was super odd. But yeah, Oumar C, I get it, man. They're going to push him. So they give him down Jung, powerful striker. But he's just, he's a brawler. He stays true to how he's going to stay true to who he is. He's going to just keep coming forward. He has that South Korean brawler type of energy to him, and that's basically what he is. He's got good power. He's got a solid chin. He's tough as hell. He's a vet. But I was going to say Sadabu C, but Oumar C is just going to outstrike him. He's going to be too technical for him. He's going to frustrate the guy, and I think he's going to win this fight. I could see a late finish. I'll go decision, but if he does get a finish, then there's a new star for the European and French market specifically for sure.
Yeah, I think exactly. I think when you look at the odds, it's quite obvious here that this is the guy on this card that they want to, right? Where Lapilus was that guy a few French cards ago, right? Where Morgan Charriere was that guy a few French cards ago, right? Or a couple French cards ago. This is that new guy, right? This is who they're pushing on this card, really. He's got almost like a John Jones kind of quality to his fighting style. I'm not saying he's John Jones. Don't fucking quote me on that. I'm just saying in terms of like the wrestling, the elbows, he's a tall, rangy striker. He's got good power, right? I like the ground and pound a lot. Let's not get it twisted though, man. I just want to put some respect on Dao Yung's name. Yes, he got choked out by Carlos Ulberg. Yes, he lost to Devin Clark. Yes, he got knocked the fuck out by Dustin Jacoby, but he's got a nice standing elbow knockout over Kennedy Nzechukwu.
The weirdest knockout you'll ever see.
Weirdest fucking, that's why I laughed. One of the weirdest knockouts you'll ever see. That's some Kennedy shit though. He's got a win over William Knight. He's got a draw with Smiling Sam Alvey. He's got a win over Mike Rodriguez. So, Dao Yung, he's been around for a while, man. He's not a bad fighter, right? It's just like a lot of these Korean fighters, he like their defense is not great. And, it's not racist because we're in the realm of sports, right? Like there's Mexican style pressure fighters. There's, like the way that Russian box is very specific, right? Like it seems like a lot of the Korean guys, their defense is simply lacking, or they're like, fuck it, hit me, bro. And they're just like try to eat the shots. And it's like, dude, like you can't really do that. For me, I do expect C to get this fight to the ground at some point. We know he loves the rear naked choke. That's like his favorite move. So I kind of expect to see that, to be honest with you. I think we'll see a second round sub for Oumar C.
One more thing, Dino, you mentioned that, the fucking hit me, bro, like whatever. It's super weird because I remember there was a card. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it wasn't that long ago, a couple months, where there was like, it wasn't a Korean themed card. We haven't had one of those, like, an Asian card in a while, but you know how like sometimes they'll have a card and there'll be like the mini themes in it, right? There'll be like 3 Chinese fighters or like three
Right.
fucking Swedish fighters or whatever. There was a bunch of Korean fighters on a card not too long ago, and they were just like the attitude in those fights was so wild to me, where like that style kind of got like implanted in my head that that's how they fight. I've been watching MMA forever. I mean, take out the Korean Zombie, right? He's a special case. That's a future Hall of Famer, fucking absolute legend. And his nickname is the Zombie. He's going to walk through shit. But
Right.
like, that wasn't normally the case. They were very technical fighters. On that particular card, I think it was like 3 Korean guys were just like, fuck it, just walking into shit, hands down, willing to fight in a phone booth. They were almost doing the, Max Holloway thing. It was fucking wild. So yeah, but now they just,
Not you just reminded me of what was it? Dan Severn versus what was his name, bro? Was he Japanese or Korean? You know what I'm talking about?
I think it was Japanese.
The blonde.
Yeah.
I think he was Japanese too. You just reminded me of that. That's essentially like what they're going. Let's go. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. But if Down Jung comes out wearing the red shorts are at a right now, it's the best base for MMA. Red shorts. Yeah, so if he's wearing that, Oumar's got to watch out.
Period.
Let's get it.
Period. All right, moving on. Next fight of the night. We've got Ion Cutelaba. He is taking on the Croatian Ivan Erslan, making his UFC debut. Is this me or you?
I think it's you, but you do what you got to do.
I lost track of it. All right, man. Yeah, listen, Ion Cutelaba, right? We know who he is, right? He's literally the definition of a kill or be killed kind of fighter. I genuinely think he's a little bit mentally unstable in terms of his demeanor and how he behaves. And, he has gotten knocked out quite a few times, but, we've seen him dish out some good knockouts too. He's nuts, bro. He's nuts. I will say it does seem like he's kind of tried to calm it down a little bit, right? Excuse me. But what's interesting here is that he's fighting a guy, Ivan Erslan, who is just nuts himself, right? So are we going to see Ion Cutelaba just let this other nuts-ass guy drag him into an insane fight? I don't see this fight going – there's a good possibility to me that this fight does not go past the first, minute and a half, right? Because of how these guys fight. They both have big power. Ivan Erslan is coming over from KSW. He's Croatian, so who do you think he idolized, right? He's got Krokop. He's a powerful kickboxer, great kicks. He's just a wild-ass dude. He's got nice hooks. This is going to be an insane fight to me, man. This has either absolute fight of the night potential, but I just don't see it, right? Because I don't trust the Chin, and they're big as fuck. So, I don't think we'll see a fight of the night because it's going to end fairly quickly. Erslan is going to be better on the feet, in my opinion, man. He's more technical. He's got kickboxing experience. He's actually not terrible on the ground either, from what I've seen. I do expect Cutelaba to be their better wrestler here, and that's going to be his best path to victory, in my opinion. But I just don't trust the Chin, man. I really, really just don't trust the Chin. Some of you may look at Ivan Erslan's record and see that he's lost 2 of his last 4, right, in KSW. I believe I think both of them, at least one of them, was a title fight for the light heavyweight title at KSW. And KSW is a legit promotion. A lot of the top guys there, I think, would do fine in the UFC. So, I wouldn't look at those 2 losses and be like, oh, this guy is not great. Plus, his record is still, 14-3? Yeah, so not bad at all. I'm going with the Croatian, Ivan Erslan. I'm going to go with first round knockout. I expect the first round finish no matter who wins, though.
Interesting. I can see this fight playing out a bunch of different ways. Obviously, Ion Cutelaba, for what it's worth, he's going to have the, the high level MMA experience, right? And we do know who he is. He's fucking wild. He's a finisher. Like you said, he's kill or be killed. Chin is a little sus. However, last time out, Dino, he ended up losing to Felipe Lins at UFC 299. Felipe Lins was on the last fight of his contract. He went with like an all-out wrestling, boring-ass style. And then after the fight, he said, I remember, I think Joe Rogan was interviewing him, and he was like, I had to do it this way. Like, I just needed a win. It was my last fight on my contract. I needed to get re-signed, and I just had to do what I had to do to get the win.
Oh, yeah.
So they ended up not fucking re-signing him because you can't have a super boring ass performance like that. I think that type of performance is really the best way for Ivan Cutelaba to win. You alluded to that a little earlier. I think he might try to do that. I think that's probably best for him. If this goes into the second and third rounds, I think like literally at that point, I have no idea who's going to win this fight.
I think there's 0% chance of that, bro.
Right. But Cutelaba, okay, here's how I see it going. I think Cutelaba is going to come out. One of two things is going to happen. He's either going to go and say, fuck it, I'm brawling this dude. One of us is going out, and someone's going out quickly if that's that's the kind of fight they're having. Or he tries to make it a super, super fucking boring wrestling fight. I just don't know that I trust Ivan Cutelaba to do that. I'm going to say, Dino, super fucking coin flip, weird, just a hunch type of thing. I think Ivan Cutelaba is going to clip Ivan Erslan super damn early in this one. I'm going to say knockout in the first minute of this fight. TKO. Ivan Cutelaba drops him, finishes him off with some ground and pound. I like that we're both in that like first minute, 2 minute fucking type of vibe. So I'm betting the under. If it's like a round and a half, I'm all for that. Yeah, let's go. Whatever.
Let's get it. All right, next fight on the card. Wait, I didn't break it down, did I?
Yeah, you did.
No, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. All right, next fight on the card. We've got Perez Ziam taking on Matt Frevola. What do you think about this one?
All right, let's start with Perez Ziam. He is going to be the Frenchman in this one. I believe this is also the first fight of the main card. Perez Ziam, technical kickboxer Dino, who again is that French style of fighter. He's going to stay far as hell away from you. He's going to pick and prod and try to point fight you. He is tall for the division, and he knows how to use it. He's super damn methodical in his approach. Decent jabs, good low kicks. His grappling is solid enough, but his striking is his biggest asset. He's just pretty damn boring. Then you have Matt the Steamroller Frevola. He's all fucking action, right? This guy has never been in a boring fight in his life. So two things that are completely fucking opposite, polar opposites here are going to be meeting in the octagon. It's who's going to get the fight to be the way that they want it to be. I know Frevola is going to rush forward. He's going to look to make this a brawl and throw some power. He has really good power, but he also has some good grappling himself. I'm just going to say that Perez Ziam, Dino, I think he's going to be able to keep range on Matt the Steamroller Frevola, avoid that pressure early on. And Matt Frevola is not a guy that needs to knock you out in the first round. He's a guy that can, he does have some lasting power. So that danger will be there. It'll be prevalent throughout this fight. I just see Perez Ziam being way too, just elusive and fucking rangy for him. And maybe not even winning the fight based on damage, which is the criteria now, as we know, but just winning it in that old-fashioned point fighting way with no fucking chance the judges give Matt Frevola a decision in Paris. So Perez Ziam, 30-27, 29-28, controversial type deal, though.
Yeah. This is one of the harder fights to pick on the card for me, because like when I first saw this, I'm like, oh, Matt Frevola all day. And then I thought about Perez Ziam, and honestly, dude, his ground game has like improved for sure, and like that's the thing is like you pretty much alluded to it too, is like I don't know that he's gonna want to engage. I don't think he's gonna engage with Matt Frevola, in that wild brawl kind of style. Like he's just not about that, and he's got the length, right? So I think he'll be able to, like, you combine those two things together, and I think that he will have the length and he'll be able to stay out of the way for the most part, right? Now, Matt Frevola, he knows how to get inside and he's got big power. So very, very well could end by knockout here, but we really haven't seen Perez Ziam get knocked out much, right? I think he's only been knocked out one time. No, he was choked out by Terrence McKinney. So, I mean, he was knocked out last like 8 years ago, right? So, Matt Frevola, he's got big power, but to me, the more technical, taller, rangier striker who's at home is like you said it. The first thing you said is basically a clash of styles. I just think that the physical abilities and the physical makeup of Perez Ziam is going to be enough for him to be able to get this into his arena, right? And then you add in the fact that they are in Paris. I do think Ziam's going to win this. He doesn't have any power really to speak of, so we'll see. Maybe Matt Frevola just doesn't respect it. I just think he's going to have a tough time finding his range. I wouldn't be surprised either way. It's super close, but I'll take Ziam by decision here.
Yeah, and I want to make two things clear. First, I do think that Matt Frevola is the better fighter. Like, I don't think that's going out on a limb and to say that, right? He's got better power. He's probably he's the better wrestler of the two. He's not as technical on the feet as Ziam, but I think that's just due to being a shorter stature fighter. And then secondly, both of these guys victims of Terrence McKinney, by the way. So that's nice.
That's true.
That's nice to see sometimes. As opposed to watching T-Rex get fucking knocked out or fucking choked out. It's nice to see, sometimes he wins.
Yeah, poor guy. Man, unfortunate. I was very excited for him as a prospect.
Oh yeah.
As he was coming up and knocking everybody out in like 30 seconds. Kind of like he was basically doing what Chiwiwis does, but like from a striking standpoint instead of
faster.
Huh?
And like faster.
Faster. Yeah, somehow faster too. So like the shit that Bo Nickel and Chiwiwis are doing grappling and submission wise, he was doing that shit but knocking people the fuck out. So yeah. But anyway, moving on to the next fight of the night. And I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say here, right? It's Morgan Charriere versus Gabriel Miranda. Gabriel Miranda has that funky ass mustache. Gabriel Miranda was knocked out brutally by Benoit Saint-Denis, who's also on this card. For me, he just really doesn't pass the eye test, man. Like, he does have, the one win in the UFC versus Shane Young, but Shane Young is fucking trash, right? I think he was cut, if I'm not mistaken.
After that fight, yeah.
After that fight, yeah, he was cut. He had lost, 4 straight to decreasing levels of opponent and, just continued to basically be finished and lose fights. So, Morgan Charriere, he's the hometown boy. He is very well rounded, in my opinion. He's a really good technical striker. You look at the level of competition, right? You look at Morgan Charriere. He fought our boy Chepe Mariscal, and I mean, dude, that was a really, really close fight, right? So, you have, to me, a guy who doesn't really pass the eye test in Gabriel Miranda, and then you have the hometown guy who is a huge favorite, who is on the main card for a reason, right? They're trying to gas this guy up, even though, I don't think he's going to be all that special, in my opinion, right? And his record kind of speaks for it too, 19-10-1. But going with a close split decision with Chepe Mariscal, I can't discount that. To me, he's just kind of better everywhere besides like the straight jiu-jitsu game, I guess you could say. For me, I don't think this is going to be a super fun fight. I just have a hunch about it. But I'm going to take Morgan Charriere by decision here. Yeah, kind of just whatever on this one, to be honest with you.
All right, Dino, I am also going Morgan Charriere. Obviously not a surprise, but how about this? I fucking guarantee you.
Yeah.
I guarantee. You ready? The Dino Bam Bam 10-7 guarantee. Morgan Charriere knocks out Gabriel Miranda round 2. I guarantee it. That's how it's going to happen. The first round, he's going to be testing it out for 2-3 minutes. Miranda's going to be like, fuck this. He's going to start doing the jiu-jitsu nerd shit. He's going to start trying to butt scoot. He's going to look desperate for takedowns. The round's going to end, and he is going to look like absolute dog ass going into that second round, just exhausted, scared, petrified. He's going to get touched with something and fucking crumble and cower. I'm going Morgan Charriere, round 2 TKO. I feel like I've seen this fight. I feel like I've already watched it. So, yeah.
I mean, modern physics says that you have, technically.
Right. String theory and shit like that. I don't even know what that is, but.
Yep. I like it, man. I like it. There you go, guys. Smash that. Second round KO for Morgan Charriere.
Yeah, sir.
All right, moving on. Next fight, we've got Kevin Jousset. He is, of course, the Frenchman in this one, taking on Bryan Battle in what should be a fun fight. What do you think about this one?
All right, let's start with Kevin Jousset Poussey. Kevin Jousset, well-rounded fighter, Dino, decent grappler, solid sub skills, obviously some good striking. I believe he's working out with Izzy and the boys down at CKB. He is a former judo. Well, he's not a former judo black belt. I guess once you're a black belt, you're always a black belt, right? But he's a judo black belt, good throws, good trips. He's really damn good in the clinch. And he's got a fucking frame on him for the division, man. He's really good. He's methodical. He works towards dominant positions on the ground. Striking is really damn solid and always improving. Nothing to really hate about Kevin Jousset, except for the fact that last time, if you remember, didn't they like leave him off the French card, and then the next week they were in Australia and brought him?
Yeah.
Like some weird shit like that.
Yeah.
But I guess he was living in Australia at the time, or I think does. Anyways, he's taken on a person that we've talked about a ton on this channel, Bryan the Butcher Battle. He cut out the Pooh Bear. He does not want to be known as that. He has changed up. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. But Bryan Battle, he says, you know what I'm saying, a lot. That's his main trait. He's super damn versatile. Hey, man, he's powerful as hell. He's got some fucking solid grappling. In the one fight in the UFC where he got his ass kicked, he showed a ton of fucking heart and a ton of just unwilling to give up on himself. And I really do like that about Bryan Battle. Another thing that I learned about Bryan Battle today, watching the media day, was as an amateur, he has a win over Impa Kasanganay, who's an absolute my boy. And then he also beat Cody Brundage on when they were amateurs. So that's pretty damn wild. Really good strength of, strength of schedule, strength of competition, whatever you want to call it. Super damn durable, Dino. I think this fight is two guys that are really, really damn good. Both of them underrated in their own ways. I'm just going to say Bryan Battle's more well-rounded skill set, and his edge in the striking gives him the advantage in this matchup. If he's able to kind of stay away from the dangerous grappling and clinch work of Kevin Jousset, I think he should be able to outstrike him and win it. The winner of this fight gets a big fucking boost. I'm going to say Bryan Battle, TKO late round 3 as we get to the buzzer type thing. But I can totally see Kevin Jousset winning. This is such a fucking treat for fight fans.
Yeah, it's a great fight, man. I'm kind of surprised to hear you say that you think that Jousset is the better grappler, basically, if I understood you.
Well, it's the judo aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
And like the pure sub skills, I guess. But yeah.
Sure, the pure sub skills, yeah. But Bryan Battle is really good on the ground and is great at using his length and landing elbows and some good grounded pound. You know, you don't see a lot of good grounded pound guys, I feel like, at 170, and I think he's actually one of them that actually looks pretty good doing it, right?
Well, he's not the taller fighter in this one, right? Bryan Battle, generally the taller fighter when we've seen him. He's not in this case. Kevin Jousset.
Yeah, they're like the same height, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Jousset's like an inch taller, supposedly. I have a feeling, though, that Battle's going to be like the same height as him once you see them on the scales and shit. Yeah, man, this is two well-rounded fighters, right? Part of me is like, is there going to be a finish? And if not, you got the French fella, right, fighting in France. So we're going to see some of that. But you know what? I mean, Bryan Battle, like he's just showing a lot, man. He's looked really damn good. He's been on a nice run. Both these guys are super well-rounded. Both these guys are really good strikers. There's not a lot between them, man. To me, the odds are kind of I thought this should be like literally the definition of a pick'em, in my opinion, or maybe ever so slightly to Battle. But excuse me, I don't really see a finish though. I think Kevin Jousset is tough enough to outlast or to last. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say decision for Bryan Battle. And I will say I appreciate the nickname change.
One more thing, I think the odds being the way they are is because Bryan Battle has like just that little bit of more name for people in the know
100%.
MMA, right? Like he was on The Ultimate Fighter. He won the show. That's always going to boost you a little bit. And then his performances in the UFC, man, like they've been fucking really good, dude. Again, what was the guy that he lost to? Renato Fakardinov. Renat's an absolute dog, but he showed so damn much in that fight. Then you look at his fights, besides that fight in the UFC.
Oh, he's got that tenacity, bro. He still keeps going for it, even when he's hurt.
Yeah, and I'm saying, let's look at this really quickly. The Ultimate Fighter finale was supposed to be him versus Tresean Gore. Tresean Gore was injured. He ended up fighting Gilbert Urbina, gets a second round finish in that one. Then he goes on to actually fight Tresean Gore in the UFC, wins a unanimous decision in that one. Then afterwards, he gets the highlight reel knockout of Takashi Sato. He blows up off of that. Fights Renato Facardino off a guy with a huge, like name coming up and whatever. Loses, but shows nothing but fucking heart in that one. Then puts out Gabe Green in like 10 seconds. Chokes out AJ Fletcher in the second. And then last time out, he's beating the dog shit out of Angelusa, who takes his opportunity to quit a fight after getting eye poked. So,
dude, I fucking hated that.
Yeah, so, man, Bryan Battles looked serious. I'm really excited to see him.
I agree, brother. And for what it's worth, I mean, I like both these guys, but I would like to see Battle win because I'd like to see him fight some of the higher competition guys and see how he does.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. Next fight is William Gomis. He's taking on Joanderson Brito at 145, and this is another fun-ass fight for what it's worth. Joanderson Brito, of course, defeated Diego Lopez on Dancing with the Stars, a.k.a. Dana White's Contender Series, which is how he got his UFC contract, which looking back on it now is fucking crazy. Also, one thing that's kind of interesting to note is Joanderson Brito has not lost either, right? Mm-hmm. And look at how quickly they've shot up Diego Lopez compared to Joanderson Brito for whatever reason, right?
Well, he lost his first fight in the UFC to your boy, Senor Perfecto Bill El Gio.
That's right. Okay, that's right.
But he is on like a big win streak.
That's right. I forgot. Honestly, I forgot about the Algio fight. I'm not gonna lie. But he's so fucking good, man. Like you just watch this guy, and he's like a little pit bull. He's jacked. He's strong as shit. He's dangerous on the ground. He's probably one of the more well-rounded finishers on both ends, right? He can knock you the fuck out. He can submit you. We've seen him fight high-level competition. Honestly, I would love to see a rematch of that maybe at some point in the future. That's a badass fight right there. William Gomis, obviously, he's French. He's an athletic striker. He's got great movement. He mixes it up with the strikes, as the French kickboxers are known to do. He's a decent fighter, man, and I kind of do expect this fight to take place on the feet for the most part. This is an interesting case to me of William Gomis is the more technical striker, but when it comes to MMA striking, right, I just think Joanderson Brito is actually better, in my opinion. And in my opinion, he's got more power, and on the ground, I think it's, quite clear who's better here. Joanderson Brito, better on the ground, much more dangerous finisher. I'm going with Joanderson Brito all the way, man. I'm gonna say by second round submission.
Okay. I want to say one thing about Joanderson Brito, Dino. While he looks like 37, the dude is in his 20s. I think he's 28 or 29 years old. So this guy is a fucking legit prospect, dude. He is scary. He's got a good record. He's got finishing ability in terms of being able to knock people the fuck out and definitely being able to sub them as well. William Gomis, a pretty good fighter. I'm not a huge fan. Again, it's because of his style. There's something about his face I just don't like. It's one
same,
of those.
Honestly. Low-key same.
Right. So fuck William Gomis. I don't like him. I like Joanderson Brito a lot. So I will also go second round finish. I'll say KO just to be different, even though I have sub written down here. But I think I would like KO more because I don't fucking like the other guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like these French guys, they don't get knocked out all that much.
Right, but that's because they're fighting from fucking over there.
Exactly.
How can I knock you out if you're over there?
And what's more French than being scared?
Facts. America. Dude, if I had an American background, I would take this shit off right now.
Damn. Chill. Shout out to our fans in France and viewers in France and all Spanish-speaking, French Canadian and all the other places that they've colonized over the years and so on. So,
hey, by the way, Dino.
Yeah.
Speaking of French Canada, y'all should really, really like and subscribe because we have Rene Moreau. He's coming up on this channel. If y'all don't know about Rene Moreau, you are going to fucking find out real damn soon. So like, subscribe, bell. Make sure it's wrong. Renee's coming next week, DS. Renee is
on God. All right, let's move on. Next fight and the co-main event of the evening coming up on Saturday is Nassourdine Imavov. He is taking on Brendan Allen. This is a big fight, man. It's a big fucking fight. Is this me?
Yeah, I think it's me.
Okay, go.
All right, shit. Co-main event, probably a fucking title eliminator. Either way you want to look at it, right? You would assume that Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland is the next fight that's happening. If that's the case, I could totally see the winner of this sitting out for a while and waiting for the winner of that, basically. Let's start with Nassourdine Imavov. He's dynamic, Dino. He's a well-rounded striker. He's not that boring French guy. He has like a little tendency of it, but that's just the style that they fight. But he's not like
But
a
he's
coward.
also got some dog in him. He's got a little meat.
Right. Yeah, he's not a coward like a lot.
Well, that's the Imavov part. That's the Russian part of him.
Facts. So his striking is clean, crisp power, good kicks, decent enough power, I should say. And the grappling. He's got the OV ending his name. He comes from Dagestan originally, so the wrestling's in the back pocket. Just a pretty good fighter, man. And me and you had a little bit of a conversation before this card breakdown. I think Nassourdine Imavov is definitely a top 10, a top 10 fighter in the middleweight division in the world, as do I with Brendan Allen. I just don't think either one of these guys is top 5. I think the winner of this fight, if they do get thrown in there with Dricus du Plessis, they probably get sparked. They get subbed or clipped. And we've already seen Imavov and Sean Strickland go at it. So, and have we seen Brendan Allen and Sean Strickland? I'm tripping now. But anyways, Brendan Allen, super dangerous submission artist on a huge win streak. He's really damn good.
Yeah, he lost to Sean Strickland by knockout.
Yeah, I thought he when he got him up against the cage.
Yeah, 2020.
Yep. Ground game, absolutely filthy for Brendan Allen, right? But he's been working on his striking. He's looked pretty damn good with the striking as of late. He has a specialty move. It's the RNC. That's what Brendan Allen wants to go for. I don't know. He's just looked damn good. He's the only thing that I could say negative about Brendan Allen is he's out there picking fights with fucking Marvin Vittori at casinos and shit, which is not a good look because he's been trying to be like this, like really good dude, and he's bringing his daughter to the press conferences and trying to be this like super happy guy. And now you're fucking fighting in casinos. That's some shit that we do here at D107 MMA. You don't do that as a professional fighter. Right. But anyway.
I would be so. Imagine you're sitting there at the fucking craps table and Martin Vittori flies across it. I'd be fucking pissed, dude.
I'm saying I don't even play craps and I'd be fucking mad. But this fight's going to come down to one thing, Dino, really. It's going to come down to if Brendan Allen can get Imavov down and get some control time. If he's able to do that, he should be able to find a sub. Imavov is pretty good on the I don't say he's good on the ground. He's good with the wrestling defense. But if Brendan Allen gets him down there, he's going to win this fight. If this fight stays on the feet, Nassourdine Imavov is a level above Brendan Allen. I think the OV is going to eventually, play into this fight. His wrestling defense will be too good for Brendan Allen. I think this fight stays on the feet for the majority of the 15 minutes it's scheduled to take place for. And I think Nassourdine Imavov wins a decision. I will be betting Brendan Allen by sub because Brendan Allen at damn near plus 200 and then plus whatever the boost is by sub is great. And I also think the UFC probably would prefer Brendan Allen over Nassourdine Imavov. He's more of a character. He's got a little more flair to him. And I think they would love to do Brendan Allen versus Sean Strickland in a rematch or Brendan Allen versus Dricus du Plessis. Unless Robert Whitaker or Hamza take that spot. But I'll go Imavov and hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, you pretty much broke it down perfectly, man. Imavov has been kind of floating around, right? But we've already seen him lose to Sean Strickland. We've seen him in a tight fight with Chris Curtis, right? So, he's been kind of floating around, but he's not the most exciting guy. So, yeah, I really like Brendan Allen. I like Imavov. I respect him as a fighter. I like, his style is not boring, let's say, right? He's got decent power. He's very well rounded. I mean, you pretty much broke it down perfectly, man. To me, it's like Brendan Allen, he does worse against big strikers, right? Who are like big guys who are better than him in the striking, who have good takedown defense, right? And to me, that's exactly what Imavov is. He's a good wrestler in his own right. He's not the submission threat that Brendan Allen is, but Brendan Allen, man, we'll see how far his striking is coming this one for sure. Hopefully he doesn't have any bad karma from attacking Marvin. I definitely want to see Brendan Allen win, man. I just don't fucking really see it. I don't see it. It's just like it's it's a hunch one for me, right? Like I want to see Brendan Allen win. It's just one of those where I'm just having a hard time picturing him getting the win here. Honestly, I don't see him like by sub. Yeah, that's going to be the best way, but I don't think that's going to be that simple. I don't think it's going to be that simple to get Imavov to the ground even. So, yeah, you pretty.
Any chance that, let's say Brendan Allen wins this fight, any chance he jumps the winner of Whitaker and Chimaev for a title fight?
If Imavov wins?
No, if Brendan Allen wins.
If Allen wins?
Because he'd be on what, like a 9-fight win streak at that point? Something along those lines?
Yeah, what's Imavov ranked right now? What's Allen ranked?
Yeah, let me pull up the rankings. That's a great question. Let's see. Middleweight. All right. Imavov is 4 and Brendan Allen is 8.
And Whitaker is what? 2, 1?
Robert Whitaker is 3 and Hamza is 12. But Hamza, it's not about the ranking, right? It's like,
yeah, exactly. If he beats Whitaker, he's going to get the title shot. Especially if he's actually active enough to take a fight right after that. The UFC's not going to like give it a chance for him to not get that, you know?
The only way I could see Brendan Allen, my bad. The only way I could see Brendan Allen, I could see Brendan Allen getting a title shot, but it would have to be Brendan Allen fighting Dricus du Plessis in South Africa. The UFC trying to give Dricus like a layup, you know what I mean? Or like the easier of the fights that would be possible.
Yeah, but the Sean Strickland fight is so much bigger, though.
Yeah, but let's say he beats Strickland in the meantime.
Oh, okay.
Right, like let's say they get set up for January or February, and then Brendan Allen wins this fight, and he's just like, fuck it, I'm waiting.
Then next. Do you do Whitaker Strickland? Because we got to see that.
Damn.
I would love to fucking see that fight.
You won't get me arguing about it.
All right. Well, anyway, we're just spitballing here, but all right, let's get to the main event of the evening, and it's of course Renato Moicano, Money Moicano, taking on the God of War, Benoit Saint-Denis. I really like both of these guys. Right? These are both two fucking fun ass guys. Very different personalities. Benoit Saint-Denis, a literal fucking soldier, has certainly killed people with the look in his eyes, right? Like an elite soldier. Renato Moicano, one of the funnier guys in the UFC, right? Just I love that he has enough. Like he's like, hey, my brother, you know what? Like, fuck it. Like, I don't. My English isn't the best, but I'm gonna still make a fucking podcast, a YouTube. Like, I'm gonna talk shit. I love it. Good for him. He's done a great job marketing himself. Renato Moicano, man, we know that he's dangerous as a grappler, right? That's his bread and butter. He's not bad on the feet either, and he's savvy, right? He's like, he finds ways to get things done, especially as of late. To me, it's just Benoit Saint-Denis is a fucking killer, man. We'll see. Moicano, he's been getting past some better strikers, right? And we keep kind of like, this guy's a better striker than him. Jalen Turner, better striker than him. This guy, gets the finish. Drew Dober, right? It's like Drew Dober. He's a great grappler. He's got power. Moicano wins that fight, right? He's got a very high IQ. Don't let his accent or him, fucking around or joking a lot, negate that or you get it twisted that that's not the case. But it absolutely is, right? He's a very smart fighter. The issue is that on the other end of the cage is Benoit Saint-Denis. And Benoit Saint-Denis is fucking good everywhere, man. He is good everywhere. He was hurting Poirier right before he got clipped. And of course he got clipped, so it is what it is. I just think that Benoit Saint-Denis is better everywhere, bro. I really do. Like, aside from maybe the pure, so like not the ability to finish somebody. Like, I don't think he's necessarily better in the ability to finish somebody on the ground, but he's got a wider array, right? He's got more techniques on the ground, let's say, right? But Saint-Denis is an absolute killer, man. I can't possibly pick against him here. Maybe I'll be eating my words, and Moicano will find a way with his fight IQ to win again. Maybe BSD gets a little bit tired because we have seen him kind of gas out in certain fights. This is a 5-rounder, right? Moicano, I think he's such a smart fighter, man. I could see a world where he's able to pace himself better than Benoit Saint-Denis. and ultimately outlast him, or even maybe get a late sub finish. I can't do it, man. Benoit Saint-Denis to me is just wild. He's scary, and I got to go with him. I'm gonna say Benoit Saint-Denis by like third round knockout.
All right, so I'm going to throw in a couple things here. First of all, you were mentioning Renato Moicano beating up, some of these guys, that are better strikers than him. You mentioned Jalen Turner, Drew Dober. I'll go one fight before those two. Brad Riddell. Brad Riddell, an absolute beast of a kickboxer, and Renato Moicano finished him pretty much with ease. One of the coolest things in all of MMA is looking at Renato Money Moicano's record and seeing his losses. His 5 career losses are to the elite of the elite. You have Brian T. City Ortega when he was on his fucking monstrous undefeated run, Jose Aldo, the Korean Zombie, Fiziev, and RDA. Those are former champions, future champions, guys who are just so goddamn good, and those are his losses. So he's beat up on some great competition as well. The guys we mentioned, obviously, Jai Herbert, who's much bigger than him, Alexander Hernandez, who is one of the most wishy-washy guys, but dangerous as hell, and a really funny sub of Damir Hadjovic, your countryman, when Damir's like Moicano gets mad at him after he chokes him out, and he's like, okay, so why'd you fucking sub me then? Like, if you wanted to fight more.
Yeah.
But anyways, Moicano done a great job promoting himself, as you've said. I'm not even going to get into the specifics in terms of his fighting. He's got filthy jiu-jitsu. But he's done a great job at promoting himself, man. The post-fight interviews are some of the best in the entire sport. And there's that. Then you have Benoit Saint-Denis, got maybe a little bit too big of a push going up against Dustin Poirier. He also did have staph infection. Let's not forget that. He was beating the shit out of he was beating the shit out of Dustin Poirier in that first round. And then in that second round, he looked like a completely different fighter. He was exhausted. As you know, that can happen when you're taking antibiotics and have a staph infection. Look, the people that I've listened to talk about this fight, the things I've read from the people online since this fight has been announced, there is no 50-50 on this fight. Everybody is like, this guy's going to win or this guy's going to win, and it's not even going to be fucking close. A lot of times that equals you're both wrong and it's about to be a war. And I sure as shit hope that we do get a badass fight. I'm wishy-washy on it, to be honest with you. I will say that Benoit Saint-Denis' pace and grappling pressure will eventually wear down Renato Moicano.
But it'll wear down Benoit too, though.
Right, but I'm not too worried about Benoit Saint-Denis' cardio. I'm not too worried about his heart, right? We know he has the heart of a lion. The time we've seen him get tired, I'm going to attribute that to staph infection. I'm going to attribute that to taking the antibiotics and also fighting a guy that's just better than you at this juncture in your career. You're fighting a fucking legend for the first time in your life. It's a huge moment for him, and I could see that along with the illness would get to him. Whereas we've seen Moicano break down when facing high-level competition. And I do believe BSD is high-level competition. I think we're going to get a badass fight for as long as it lasts. By the way, really quickly, BSD last time out, beating the shit out of Poirier, gets finished. Renato Moicano getting his ass beat by Jalen Turner gets the finish.
Yep.
Super fucking weird. But anyways, I'm going to say that we get a badass back and forth fucking war. And eventually, Moicano's just going to get tired and kind of just break, man. I think BSD breaks him, finishes him late in this fight. I'll say round 4 TKO on an exhausted Renato Moicano. And that's that. And I think BSD gets back sort of in that title picture. And I hope he does some things, man. I'd love to see BSD and Sarukian and fucking, all those guys. Like, just give me all those fights at the top of this division with Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm so down.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I think he deserves to be there. Both these guys do.
Yeah. But Moicano, on the older side, right? So
on the older side, and I do think he is like at the top of the next tier below Benoit Saint-Denis, if that makes sense.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah. Well, that's all, man. That's all I got for you. That's the whole fight card. We kind of blazed through that a decent pace. Probably gonna end up being like a little over an hour for
Yeah,
14 fights.
that's not bad, bro. That's not bad. We give
Not bad.
good quality content, good breakdowns, a little banter, and we do it quickly for you guys. How good
Bingo.
is that? How good
Bingo.
is that? Just guys being dudes. Shout out that guy.
Bingo. Well, that's it, brother. Why don't you take us out?
All right, guys. If you enjoyed, do us a favor. Hit that like, subscribe button, ring the bell. Next week is a pay-per-view. We're going to be dropping a ton of content. It's Poetan Fight Week. I know y'all love that. And also the aforementioned Rene Leberon Mero is going to be on the channel next week. So that is something you're not, trust me, you're not going to want to miss that. It might be a fucking disaster. We don't know yet, but we're trying some shit. So check out Renee, ring the bell. Follow us on IG at the107MMA. We got pictures with us and fighters and memes and jokes and stuff. DS, anything else you would like to tell the folks before we sign off before UFC Paris?
Not at all.
All right, guys. That right there is DS. That right there is the Eiffel Tower, and I'm Dino Bam Bam. We are the 107 MMA. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.
Peace.